If you are over 55 and you are lying awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, tossing and turning, your legs aching, your mind racing, and wondering why sleep feels like something that only happens to other people, I need you to stop everything and watch this right now, because what I am about to share with you changed the lives of thousands of my patients, and it takes exactly 3 minutes before you close your eyes tonight. I have spent over 22 years treating sleep disorders, circulatory problems, and chronic pain in adults over the age of 50. I have sat across from hundreds of patients who came to me exhausted, frustrated, and completely defeated by their own bodies. And almost every single one of them had one thing in common: not their diet, not their stress levels, not even their medication. It was the position of their legs while they slept. Now I know what you are thinking. Leg position? That sounds too simple. But let me tell you about one of my patients. She was 67 years old, a retired school teacher from Ohio. She had not slept more than 4 hours straight in nearly 3 years. She had tried melatonin, she had tried white noise machines, she had tried chamomile tea, prescription sleep aids, and even a very expensive weighted blanket her daughter bought her for Christmas. Nothing worked. Her legs would throb. Her lower back would ache. She would wake up feeling more tired than when she went to bed. Then I asked her one simple question: "How are you positioning your legs at night?" She looked at me like I had just asked her what color the moon was. She said, "Flat. Just flat on the mattress." And I said, "That is your problem right there." Within 5 nights of following this exact protocol I am about to share with you, she was sleeping 6 to 7 uninterrupted hours. Her leg pain dropped by nearly 60%, and she told me at her follow-up appointment that she felt, for the first time in years, like herself again. So let me explain the science behind why this works, because I want you to understand this deeply, not just follow it blindly. As we age, our venous return system, which is the network of veins responsible for pushing blood back up from your legs toward your heart, begins to weaken. The tiny valves inside your leg veins that prevent blood from pooling downward start to lose their elasticity. This is not a disease. This is biology. It happens to virtually everyone over the age of 50 to some degree. But here is what most doctors fail to address in a standard 15-minute appointment. When you lie completely flat at night with your legs at the same level as your heart, this already weakened venous system struggles even more. Blood pools in the lower extremities. Inflammation increases. Nerve sensitivity rises. Your legs begin to feel restless, heavy, or achy. And your brain, instead of drifting into deep restorative sleep, keeps getting low-level distress signals from your legs that keep you stuck in light, fragmented sleep cycles. Think of it this way. Imagine trying to drain a bathtub, but the drain is at the same level as the water. It drains, but slowly and inefficiently. Now tilt that bathtub slightly so the drain is at the lowest point. Everything flows freely. That is exactly what this leg position does for your circulatory system at night. Here's the position, and I want you to practice it tonight. Approximately 20 minutes before you get into bed, take 2 standard bed pillows and place them at the foot of your mattress. When you lie down on your back, slide both pillows underneath your lower legs so that your heels are elevated roughly 6 to 8 inches above the level of your heart. Your knees should have a very slight, soft bend, not locked straight, not sharply bent, just a gentle, natural curve. Your lower back should feel completely relaxed against the mattress. If you feel any strain in your lower back, add a thin pillow beneath your lumbar region as well. Now hold that position for just 3 minutes before you allow yourself to roll into your preferred sleeping position. What those 3 minutes do is prime your venous drainage system. They allow the blood that has been pooling in your legs throughout the day from standing, sitting, and walking to begin draining back efficiently toward your core. Inflammation markers in the lower limb tissue start to decrease. Your nervous system begins to register that the low-level circulatory stress is resolving, and your brain, receiving cleaner, calmer signals from your body, begins its natural descent into the early stages of deep sleep far more quickly and far more smoothly. Now, let me tell you about another one of my patients. He was 71, a former construction foreman who came to me complaining of what he called electric legs at night, that crawling, buzzing, uncomfortable sensation that made it impossible to stay still. He had been diagnosed with restless leg syndrome by 2 other physicians and was on medication that gave him headaches and made him feel foggy the next morning. I did not immediately change his medication. Instead, I asked him to try this position every single night for 2 weeks before making any other changes. At his 2-week follow-up, he said the electric feeling had reduced from every single night to maybe twice in 2 weeks. He was sleeping 5 hours straight, sometimes 6. He said, and I remember this clearly, "I feel like I got my nights back." We were subsequently able to work with his prescribing physician to reduce his medication dosage significantly over the following months. This is not magic. This is mechanics. And the mechanics make complete sense when you understand what is happening inside your body. There is another layer to this that most people never hear about, and that is the effect of leg position on your lymphatic system. Unlike your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic system has no pump. It relies entirely on movement, gravity, and muscle contractions to move lymphatic fluid through your body. When lymphatic fluid stagnates in the lower legs during sleep, it contributes to the puffiness, the morning stiffness, and that heavy, swollen feeling that so many of my senior patients describe when they first wake up and take their first few steps. Elevating the legs even slightly during the pre-sleep phase encourages lymphatic drainage in a way that lying completely flat simply cannot achieve. One of my patients, who is 74 and a passionate gardener, used to tell me that every morning felt like she was walking on 2 bags of wet sand for the first 20 minutes after waking. After 3 weeks of this nightly leg elevation protocol, she told me she got up one morning and just walked. No hesitation, no grimacing. She grabbed her coffee, went straight out to her garden, and said it was the first time in 4 years she had not had to brace herself before standing up. Now, let me address something important. If you have a diagnosed condition such as deep vein thrombosis, heart failure, or severe peripheral artery disease, please speak with your physician before making any changes to your sleep position, because in those specific cases there may be modifications needed. But for the vast majority of adults over 55 who are simply experiencing the natural age-related decline in sleep quality, circulation, and leg comfort, this position is safe, effective, and costs you absolutely nothing. Let me also talk about what to do if you are a side sleeper, because I know many of you cannot fall asleep on your back. That is completely fine. The 3-minute priming phase is done on your back with elevated legs. After those 3 minutes, you can roll to your preferred side. When you do, place a pillow between your knees. Not under your knees, but between them. This keeps your hips stacked properly, prevents your top leg from rotating forward and collapsing toward the mattress, which compresses the hip joint and the lower lumbar spine, and it maintains just enough separation in your lower limbs to prevent the blood pooling that occurs when your legs are pressed tightly together for hours. Many of my side-sleeping patients tell me this single addition of the between-knee pillow was as transformative as the elevation priming itself. There is also a breathing component I recommend pairing with this position, and it takes almost no additional effort. As you lie with your legs elevated during those 3 minutes, I want you to breathe in for 4 counts through your nose, hold gently for 2 counts, and breathe out for 6 counts through your mouth. Do this just 5 times. This breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and digest mode, and begins suppressing cortisol, which is the stress hormone that keeps so many older adults wired and alert even when they are bone-tired. The combination of the circulatory priming from the leg elevation and the nervous system priming from this breathing pattern creates a powerful 1-2 signal to your brain that it is genuinely, physically safe to release into sleep. Think about how many nights you have climbed into bed exhausted but could not switch off. Your body felt tired, but your mind was spinning. That is cortisol. That is your nervous system stuck in a low-grade state of alert. This 3-minute protocol addresses both the physical and the neurological barriers to sleep simultaneously, which is why it works when so many other single-approach strategies fail. I have had patients who told me they had accepted that bad sleep was just part of getting older, and I understand why they felt that way. Our culture reinforces that idea constantly. You hear it at family dinners. You read it in magazines. Sleep gets worse as you age, and that is just how it is. I'm here to tell you, as a physician who has studied this for more than 2 decades, that is only partially true. Yes, certain biological changes do occur, but many of the sleep problems my senior patients experience are positional, mechanical, and circulatory in nature, and those problems have positional, mechanical, and circulatory solutions. You do not always need another pill. You do not always need another supplement. Sometimes you need to tilt the bathtub. That retired school teacher sleeps 7 hours now. That former construction foreman got his nights back. That gardener walks to her garden without wincing every single morning. And tonight, you have the same opportunity they had. 3 minutes, 2 pillows, 1 breath pattern. That is the entire investment. Before you go to bed tonight, I want you to try this. Set a timer for 3 minutes. Lie on your back. Slide 2 pillows under your lower legs. Breathe in for 4, hold for 2, out for 6. 5 times. Then roll into your position and sleep. Do it for 7 nights in a row and pay close attention to how your body responds. Notice whether your legs feel calmer. Notice whether you fall asleep faster. Notice whether you wake up fewer times. Notice how your feet and ankles feel in the morning. Your body will tell you everything. And if this helped you, please share it with someone you love who is struggling with their sleep, because there are millions of seniors lying awake right now who have no idea that the solution might be as close as the pillows already sitting on their bed. You deserve deep, restorative sleep. Not just rest. Real sleep. The kind that heals your body, sharpens your mind, and lets you wake up feeling ready for your day. It is not too late for you to have that. It starts tonight, and it starts with 3 minutes. Sleep well. You have earned it.